Heya, Ren here. When designing a new character, it's a good idea to gather some inspiration images and aesthetics you want to include. That's why I suggest trying to make an inspiration or aesthetic board before beginning your designs. While you're looking for colors and images, you can think about what your character is like. What things are they into? Hobbies? Interests? What kind of design motif or shapes would fit? Thinking about these things helps establish what kind of character you're making, and therefore makes your design more informed. To make an aesthetic board, there's only a few things that you need. If you have a digital drawing software, you can just open up a new canvas, or you can open up the File Explorer on your computer. I recommend that you keep your settings to view extra large icons so that you can see all of your images together. To get started, we will Google our jumping off point. For example, I know that I want my character to be a red wolf character. So I'll type that in, and that gives us a good point of entry into our design. I'm going to grab this one because I like the colors. But another tip is if you put the word aesthetic after the thing that you're searching, you will get more dramatic images with brighter colors and more interesting color palettes. So I really like this image with these bright red flowers, and it looks like somebody has done another version with some blues in it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that image and put them both on my canvas. I like to try and keep my images the same size, or if I feel that one image is more important to me, or that I like it more, or that I want my color palette to emulate that image more, I'll make that one bigger than some of the smaller aspects of the design. If we take a look at the pictures we have so far, we'll see that the red wolf has sort of a rusty color palette, a lot of warm colors. The warm colors on the color palette are reds, oranges, yellows, pinks. They're really exciting and bright colors. The cool colors on the color wheel are greens, blues, and purples, which are more quiet and calming colors. So looking at our images, we can notice that mostly we have warm colors like the reds and the oranges, but we also have a little bit of blue. So we can start with our palette of reds, blues, and oranges. This gives us a color palette to start searching for. Now, what's also really helpful about making these inspiration sheets is that it forces you to think about what kind of character you're creating. What kind of personality do they have, and how are we going to get that across with just our design? For example, the red wolf, the only last remaining population that is wild is in North Carolina, which is my birth state. So I really want this character to be a survivor, a strong character who has held on for a long time. So I've started to search for survivor. Don't feel like you have to stick with that word. I see the word wanderer here, and I think that's a really interesting one to look into. So don't be afraid to let your Google search take you to some weird places, and you'll gather some really interesting aesthetics. Now, if you end up grabbing an image and when you toss it into your sheet, it looks like it doesn't quite fit with the others, the colors aren't that similar, don't be afraid to get rid of it. It's better that we have a cohesive color palette than have more images. So don't be afraid to edit. Another really helpful tip is if you come up here and you go to Tools, and then you select Color, you can search images by their dominant color. So let's say I wanted to add purple into my color palette. I can select that purple and it'll give me my Google search, but filtered for that color. So we're going to be looking for oranges first. Doing that search has led me to this really beautiful Gothic architecture, which I wasn't really thinking of when I originally thought of this character, but I'm definitely going to search around and see if I can find some more aesthetics of that sort of regal Gothic nature. You can continue to move your images around until they fit perfectly into your canvas space.
but I'm impatient, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go with this image. Keep in mind that the point of this exercise is to explore what kind of person your character is. What's also helpful is that it builds a color palette for you that is evocative of the themes or feelings that you want to associate with your character. For example, when I started, I knew that I wanted my character to have some sort of wanderlust aesthetic or nature theme, but in the course of doing the exercise, I also realized that I wanted the character to have some embellishments and regal and graceful air to them. Don't be afraid to let your Google search take you to some places you weren't expecting. Now, I also want to mention that because we got these images off of the internet, please do not claim that these images are yours. This exercise is meant as a way for you to explore what kind of character you want to design, but is not meant as a standalone art piece. Since this is just meant as an exercise to help you get started, don't be afraid to explore. Remember, there are no wrong answers in art, as long as you're being creative and having fun. Happy arting!